Previously on Roll No Evil.
Anything other than gold in these parts does not fucking fly.
Yeah, hey, don't get locked in here. I'm harmless. Just let me out of here. Jack won't get mad at you.
How do you know my father? Perhaps you know my mother, Diane del Cuervo, German missionary, also deaf.
No, what happened to Butch?
Butch was shot.
That man did his goddamn job. We've all been scared stiff that now he's dead, they're gonna start up again.
Barclay Ackland. Any idea where he might be going next?
You ain't got no idea what goes on in this town. And he just closes the door.
He has to. He literally, he's gonna kick open this goddamn door. God damn it. God damn it. Okay.
Finally, it just rips off the hinges. And standing right there is that man with a shotgun just right aimed from you.
Did she tell you what kind of monster it was?
They just said you don't want to be caught outside when it comes to town.
Is that like Cyrus is really badass and like is very good at the like short one-liners of man of few words, and Emily am not. So I'm really trying here, guys.
Is the emphasis on bad?
Oh,
wait, did I
fight?
What did I say? Wait, I don't remember saying the word bad. When did I say the word?
You said badass.
Oh, that's a funny joke. I didn't really pick it up. I'm sorry.
I also did not pick it up.
Yeah,
because he just didn't quite succeed on all the rolls.
I want to investigate this garden. I want to investigate this goddamn mystery.
Yeah, so the garden, it's, if you picture this estate, like I said, it's an iron fence that's behind everything. It's the, like, red dirt ground, but you can see that, like, these beautiful, like, flower beds and, like, ivories that do not look as though they would be a part of, like, nature. Like, the original red rock dirt had been, like, scooped out, and in its place is like richer soil. You know, there's like beautiful flowers, roses, daisies, lilies, all of
daisies?
These sorts. Daisies?
Sorry.
Daisy. They smell like cotton. But yeah, so they were definitely like very expensively shipped over, and they got like the soil and everything, and
they're growing.
They're fully grown. Whether they were grown there or they were just like placed in there, you would have to investigate.
Investigate mystery is sharp. Okay. Fuck. I dropped the dice.
Panic.
Okay, we're good. 8.
An 8? Yeah. So you looking at them, you know, Cyrus doesn't know jack shit about plants and
Absolutely
shit like
not.
that. But you can at least see that there's some buds that are like not fully grown, some that are like in the stages of fully blooming. You know, they're at the bottom of each one of like the bushels of like flowers. So maybe some are growing. Maybe they were just kind of like, there's not enough to say like, oh, a whole new like flower is growing. Maybe they came into the pack, like not the pack, but you know, they came with the plants like that.
Yeah.
You're not really gonna know.
Are there just flowers, or are there other like herbs and plants?
You can at least see like some herbs, not ones that aren't raising suspicion. Like we're talking like
fucking
the
oregano.
atypical, yeah, like oregano, basil, you know, shit like that. Okay. But it's majority flowers, but those are put in every so like little area.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a bit odd.
Okay. Some herbs. Does it make a design?
No.
Okay.
It looks easily accessible, but also decorative is the best way to put it.
Okay, easily accessible, but also decorative.
So if you think of the fence, we'll say that they're lining the fence, like on the inside.
Okay. He wants to kind of do like a circle around the property and like see what there is to see, like see if there's any like not open windows in terms of like he's not going to go back inside, I don't think, but I mean like, you know, are any curtains like open that he could like look into, or see if like what else is around the property, anything else of note.
No, the all
horses,
windows
stable.
are drawn, stuff like that. You can see, again, it's a pretty large estate.
Mhm.
As you like go around, you can see, like these are rich motherfuckers. They don't have an
Yeah.
outhouse. They have an indoor bathroom.
They
Disgusting.
have an in-house.
They have an in-house. That's wild. You can go around, you can see like behind the house a little bit away, there's it looks as though like that probably is a horse stable, like they have their own one. There's no horse at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing of note in it. It's just
Is there a
horse
stable boy?
No.
Fuck.
No. There's no other people.
There's no other people. Okay, that's
There's no other
interesting.
people. There is a back door, but it's drawn and it's gonna be locked. Like you're not gonna get into it. But beside it is like some like I don't know trash can, like where they put like garbage. I'm gonna say that because I don't know if they use like trash cans back then.
It's your world. You can say that they have
Yeah.
trash cans.
There's
What
trash
the
cans.
fuck?
There's trash cans. Fuck that shit.
Let there be
There's
trash
cans. There is like some bags of trash, stuff like that around. Mostly it probably came from like a kitchen, like you can like smell like like rotting food.
Mm-hmm.
Probably baking in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, composting.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But from there, nothing really of note other than like trash.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, I think then Cyrus is going to leave.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, as you circle around, you are most likely not alone, given that inside the sheriff's room when the gunshot was heard, the rest of you would have heard a gunshot. Is anybody going to react to that?
Yeah, the sheriff.
Yeah, Winifred's gonna jump.
I don't know, man. You might be a shitty sheriff.
Going outside to figure out where the fuck it
All
happened.
right. Is anybody else following him?
Oh yeah, Winifred's following.
Okay, so Winifred and Wyatt, you're gonna go over to the estate most likely.
Well, do we know where it came from?
Yeah, you would have known it because it wouldn't be too far away, and like I said, it's like the mesas. It probably would like echo a bit, so you probably would have like at least a direction.
Then, yeah.
Winifred's bringing her camera.
Wyatt and Winifred, you're going to be going over to like the Tice estate. Eduardo and Jenkins, are you following or are you going on an excursion?
I would like to follow, but my primary weapon is covered in breakfast.
Are you keeping it like that, like holding
just
it?
dump it on the floor.
Or just hold it the entire time?
No, I'm just kind of like looking around because I'm like, Eduardo's just kind of sitting there. He just finished setting the table as we had this conversation, and then suddenly there's a fucking gunshot. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, big guy, and it just like takes the entire paddle and almost tries to do like the pulling the tablecloth off of the table without like getting all this stuff on there, but ends up just kind of flinging everything into the wall. So the wall is now covered in breakfast.
And so no tablecloth. You just pull the table.
Yeah, I pull the entire paddle off of your desk. So like the desk is fine, not a drop of anything on the desk, but he flings the food directly into the wall, potentially ruining some of your drawings. I'm sorry.
Well, hold on. We'll solve this. Did you throw the food to the left or the right?
I don't fucking know what direction we were facing. I always pictured it as like the Last Supper, like we're all on one side of the
which
table.
side did you
and
throw the food? To the left or the right?
Whichever direction the wall is, I don't fucking know.
There's 4 walls.
Yeah, there's walls on the other side.
Well, which
Depending
wall
on
is
if you say left or
closest?
right, it'll hit my pictures or not.
Can we roll for this?
Oh my god, I
Just
love
flip
this,
a coin.
Russ.
But it's my pictures.
I don't. Who carries coins?
Just open up Google and put
I
coin
got a
flip.
coin. I got a coin.
Oh, okay.
Which one you want?
Head.
Head?
It's tails.
Fuck.
It's thrown into the cell with that one guy who's
Yeah, and
ignoring
you
them.
just hit the guy with the food.
He has a full continental breakfast inside
I was
the cell.
I was gonna say, what's the worst outcome?
Well, the
Wyatt.
worst outcome is in my pictures.
Okay, it's gonna hit directly the photos, like all the pictures.
I'm already out the door, so I don't know.
You don't know.
So he Eduardo tries to do the tablecloth trick, but ends up just kind of grabbing the handle and catapulting everything into your Pepe Sylvia picture wall. Everything seems to be intact, but it is covered in milk and bacon and eggs.
It's
Slap.
gonna smell later.
And Eduardo just kind of like looks around. He's just like, he's looking around trying to see if there's anything he can clean it up with. He just kind of like vaguely like tries to wipe his hand on it. I'm basically recreating that episode of SpongeBob where they get paint on the dollar. Careful, SpongeBob. Careful, SpongeBob. It just kind of like tries to get it off, but ends up just smearing the charcoal or ink or whatever you started drawing with.
Jenkins will go over, put his hand on Eduardo's, and say, "Go on ahead, follow them. I'll take care of this. I'll be with you."
Oh,
in just a
God.
second."
What is this, fucking Ghost? Are we like doing pottery together?
Listen, I said that I ship it. Eduardo and Old Man Jenkins.
What's the song from Ghost, and how can I
The
non-copyright
Doobie
it?
Brothers?
It is Doobie Brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mrs.
What are you
Robinson?
doing? What are you doing to the pictures, Old Man Jenkins? We'll say that Eduardo, you go out the door.
Yeah, Eduardo grabs his board and just kind of like scurries out the door as much as a man of my stature can scurry.
Jenkins pretends to try and clean it while like watching over his shoulder. As soon as Eduardo leaves the office, he just grabs as much of it as he can and stuffs it in his overalls. And then while like not the actual pictures, he just grabs as much food as he can because
Oh, I thought you were talking about the photos. I was like,
Oh, that would've been funny.
drama.
I was
I was
like,
gonna
oh,
say, is he
shit.
gonna try to frame Eduardo?
Does he accidentally take one of them like with the food like it's a napkin, use that at a napkin?
You know, Old Man Jenkins is old. He doesn't know whether or not he does. He just sees food, he grabs food, and he puts it in. I will let the ghost host decide whether or not he does because he just does it absentmindedly. Like,
Yeah, you're gonna
an old
take
man.
one. You're gonna take one. I'm not gonna tell you which one.
I'm not writing it down. I'm
No,
gonna
yeah,
let-
put in your inventory that you have one.
One photo dunked in a slurry of eggs, bacon, and milk.
You have a photo in there. I'm not gonna say which one.
Yeah, and then so he sticks all of it just in his crusty overalls, and then shuffles out of the door, following Eduardo.
All right.
I can picture just the
Napoleon, give me some of your tots.
Just that.
Tina, you fat lard.
All right, so you're gonna go near the Tice estate. By the time you roll up, especially Wyatt and Wynifred, you would probably be in the front. Cyrus, you're rounding back the corner to like the front of the house, so you like kind of run into them while they're coming up.
He doesn't even look at them. He just keeps walking.
Did you find a cryptid? I got my camera. Did you find a cryptid?
The fucking hole in their shoulder.
And a door kicked down.
The door, the door at this point, the man that was inside, kind of like you could see in like the distance, probably while you were like behind Cyrus, he had come back and he's just like picking up the door and just like so like he doesn't get paid enough for this shit. He's like just putting it back on like.
Did it break the door down? Is it inside?
I think Cyrus pauses, sort of like, I imagine like if they're kind of here, they kind of pauses sort of like next to them, like if like sort of that like side kind of like thing, pauses when Wynifred says something and just says, "There's something in this house. Not my problem today though." And then he just fucking just keeps walking away. Walks back towards town.
What did it look like? Oh, okay.
As Cyrus is walking away, I'll say Wyatt like decocks his gun, so it's very audible that it was ready to go, and he's gonna go up to the door.
It's very much off the hinges. The guy that like the employee there, he's trying to like at least like line it up and everything. There's still like the screws that were there and the hinge is still on the floor. He doesn't even like peer at you, Wyatt, as he just kind of like puts it there and he goes, "I'm dealing with enough at the moment, sir."
Obsessed with this guy, actually.
Wyatt will help with the door.
Eduardo would also like to help with the door.
Oh, yeah, did you catch up?
Yeah, his steps are like 15 of ours.
Just fucking fee-fi-fo-fumming his way over.
Winifred, did you catch back up, or are you still kind of like hanging back? Because I think Cyrus might say something to Winifred if you kind of hung back.
No, she's following Cyrus now. She's just bombarding Cyrus with questions.
Just
of what-
the camera like up
okay.
and down like
What'd you see? What did it look like? How big was it? Like just a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I think that he stops and sort of turns to her, and like again, like Cyrus doesn't really have like an off switch on the whole just like fucking sort of big and kind of intimidating thing. So sorry, but that's just he doesn't. And he just kind of turns and he just kind of like, "Where did you say you were from, girl?"
I did not. I'm asking you questions about what cryptid could have broken down the door. And like how you got that wound in your shoulder?
Point about the wound. You see a hole in his jacket, and that's all you see.
You don't see blood, no nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, a puncture, let's say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He doesn't respond. He just looks at you.
Remember, you can also roll manipulate. Keep him talking.
Oh.
Manipulate.
Okay, I'm gonna roll manipulate.
You annoy him enough with your questions that he starts answering.
That is an 11.
Fuck me. All right.
Yeah. So that means you still have an option, but if you decide to kind of like go along with Wynifred right now, you do get +1 forward when acting on the information you give her.
Okay. Say the question again.
Yeah, like what kind of cryptid crashed through the door? Like how big was it? Like she's just asking you a bunch of questions, like annoying you into at least answering one of them.
I think he snorts when you ask like what cryptid and how big was it? Well, depends on what your definition of a cryptid is, I guess.
Yeah, like you know cryptids, right? Like any kind of monsters, like vampires, werewolves, sea serpents. There's a lot of different kinds of sea serpents. What'd you see?
I saw me kicking down the door.
She pauses and like kind of thinks for a second. She's like, "Are you calling yourself a cryptid? Are you a monster? Are you a werewolf? Are you a vampire?" If so, I have so many questions. And would you mind if I took a photo of you?
I am not a werewolf, a vampire. You don't have words for what I am. And you take a photo of me and I'll break that pretty little camera of yours.
Are you a new kind of monster? I would love to learn everything about you.
Take a picture.
It takes forever to set up the camera.
Did I answer enough to get a +1 forward? Is this
Yeah, you take +1 forward.
All right, I did the thing. I'm proud of myself.
The +1 forward will be that you can keep using it. So you can still use that +1 while doing this. And it's in the context of like relaying information with Wynifred.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you from? Where did you come from?
She's gonna take note of like the aggravation in Cyrus's voice. She's like, "Oh, I'm doing that thing again that people don't like, and I'm annoying him. But I also don't want to answer his questions." So she goes, okay. I'm talking too much again, and I will just let you be, and I'm gonna go catch up with the sheriff." And she starts turning around.
He takes a small step forward. Not a big step, but like a small step. You've been traveling around these parts. What do you know of Tablet Stone?
Ghost host, what would I know of Tablet Stone?
Yeah. So Wynifred, you've been traveling for a while. You wouldn't know too much in depth about it, but you did go there because you had like a hunch about like jackalopes in the area. So you did go there at one point. This is one of the points where like I fucking hate that there's no like history check.
You can just make one. You could just like make it. You are God.
We rewrote history in season 1.
We did. No, so you probably know as much of just that it's not the safest area to be in.
Yeah, so I went to Tablet Stone because I heard about jackalopes in the area. But then when I got there, 1, I didn't see any. 2, no one would answer my questions. 3, they were kind of really mad at me, kind of like you are. And then 4, I didn't feel safe anymore, so then I just left.
Cyrus he looks and he just goes, Just walks away. Walks back towards town.
Wynifred?
Now, realizing how annoyed she made him, she's going to turn around and go back to the sheriff.
So I love that this is I think that was the nicest Cyrus will ever be in this entire fucking game, is that moment.
I'm really liking the growing soft spot for Wynifred.
I think she's kind of baby, and I think it's hard not to.
she do be baby girl.
She's kind of baby. Obsessed.
You heard it here first. Wynifred, baby. So Wyatt and Eduardo, you're helping the guy with the door. He's holding it in place. Wyatt, you're like helping like pick it up, just kind of like keep it there. Eduardo, there's like a bunch of like loose screws and the hinges on the floor. Start like picking them up. The man just kind of like still side eyes you both as you do and goes, "Much obliged."
Eduardo just like picks up the screws and the hinges, and with his gargantuan fucking thumbs just kind of presses them into the wood.
Amazing. I'm obsessed with him.
The guy just kind of like stares at that. You can see in his face like he wants to ask for like a split second, but then he's like,
Like no hammer, just like the squeaky like.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, all right.
Thanks, big guy.
Big guy.
Bye bye.
Winifred runs up to the sheriff and Eduardo, like while they're fixing the door, and she goes, "So, you know, the gloomy guy, he broke down the door."
The guy like fixing the door, he goes, "That he did. Some people just don't have class out here."
Did you shoot him?
Man sighs, he kind of like, using one of his hands, he like pushes up his glasses a little bit. The sun kind of glints off of them. He goes, "Will this require me coming down to the station based on my answer, Sheriff?"
I mean, you're more than welcome to come down to the office, or we could just keep it here.
Pushes the glasses up just a bit more and goes, "That I did. Round the shoulder.
Yeah, I saw the hole in the jacket.
Man was trying to come into this estate. I am not the homeowner, but I am entrusted to keep this estate together."
Meanwhile, Eduardo is just kind of like testing the door, like making sure it's all good. He's noticing that it squeaks, so he pulls out a little tiny vial and a dropper and like squeezes a little bit of milk into the hinges.
I was about to ask if it's milk.
Still milk.
It
But
works.
it's like heavy cream. It's like it's the top of the milk.
Okay.
Little buttermilk on the hinges, and is like testing it, swinging it back and forth.
So I just want to throw out that buttermilk is acidic and will rust the hinges.
Shh, Eduardo doesn't know
It
that.
works for now. It works for now, we'll say. It stops squeaking, to which the man looks over at you and just, nods his head. He goes, "Thank you very much, sir."
De nada.
Jenkins, what are you doing?
Jenkins left after everybody. He's also very old. So, like, he's shuffling over. Has he caught up with them? Did he pass by Cyrus on the way in?
You're nearby, like, maybe you can't hear, like, the conversation, but you're walking up to the estate. We'll say, like, you're passing Cyrus as Cyrus goes on past.
I think Cyrus actually does stop for a moment when he passes Jenkins. What is Jenkins' reaction to seeing Cyrus? This is important.
Jenkins would be like, "Oh, what? What blue blazes happened to your shoulder there?"
I think Cyrus, again, pauses and looks at him. Says, "You've been around these parts a long time."
I asked you a question. You're not going to answer me? What kind of respect is this to your elders? Here. And he reaches down into his pants and pulls out a bottle of a clear liquid. You look like you'd use this. And he hands it over to you.
He looks at it. You know what? Fuck it. He takes it. Yeah. God
Well,
damn.
do you drink it?
Yes, I drink. I just take a sip and hand it back.
You heal 2 points of harm.
Thank you.
I ship it.
Yeah, great. Do I have to roll for drunk?
It is alcohol.
Oh, it is alcohol. You weren't drinking. You have to roll for your tolerance.
Fuck yeah. All right. Well, his tolerance is already. I think we already did that, and his tolerance is.
Well, he didn't. Did he drink? But
Yeah.
At the first episode.
Yeah, he did. He had a beer.
Okay.
Or he was at the thing. He had a good tolerance. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Because I take notes. No,
So you're not feeling anything right now. You're fine.
Is that it? Okay, sorry, I was just scrolling up. Yeah, and so I think he takes it, and then he looks at Old Man Jenkins, and he says, "I'll tell you what happened to me if you tell me what you know about a one Lady Tice." I don't know if he's not necessarily manipulating. I think he's just like talking.
He's gonna ask. So this
Just
is
gonna
just
ask.
purely at the will of Jenkins. Which, if Jenkins wants to genuinely answer, I'll message you what you know about Lady Tice.
Send me something.
Yeah. 1 second.
Do you want to roll?
No.
No? Okay.
I'm gonna give you bullets, so that way you don't know the full story.
Is it Lady Tice? With a
Tice.
T?
Tice.
Okay, so, dude, I don't know if you're still listening, but can we call this episode Rolling the Tice?
It's good fucking shit.
That's
actually.
a good name.
That's a good goddamn name.
Writing it.
Jesus Christ. That's the most cursed thing. Sorry, I just saw Trav in the chat just put Jenkins /Cyrus /Eduardo. And if that's not the most cursed goddamn thing, that's what.
We will make a throuple.
Oh God. All right.
It'll be cursed, but you got a wholesome bear, a little gremlin, and a brooding top.
Jenkins looks around. What? You're talking to me? Like you're interested in what I have to say?
This is so wholesome.
So I'm going to give you those. You can say whatever ones you want. I'm giving you the ability to decide.
Yeah, I think Cyrus just looks at him and says, "You have information? I need information."
Oh my goodness. Jenkins waddles up to you and hugs your legs. Nobody's ever paid attention to me.
Cyrus is gonna take a lot of really deep breaths.
He stinks. Jenkins is like, he
Yeah.
smells rank because he doesn't bathe very often because he lives alone.
I think Cyrus has to roll act under pressure.
You have milk and eggs in your pocket.
Oh yeah, there's milk and eggs in my pocket too.
Jen knows, but I think I have to roll.
Yeah, you have to roll right now.
No! I wanted this to be cute. I rolled a 5.
Jenkins is gonna die.
I would use luck, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna use luck because I don't want to. Yeah, I'm gonna use luck because I don't want to be an asshole in this moment.
Yeah, mark experience from the luck.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin this moment.
Yeah.
But I think Cyrus takes a lot of really deep breaths, and like in through the nose, sort of in through the nose, out through the mouth, kind of deep breaths while this is happening.
Jenkins.
Well, yeah, I'll take the bottle back from Cyrus. Yeah, because clearly Cyrus is too astonished with everything that's happening.
What's your tolerance, by the way?
I have good tolerance.
Okay, so you're fine. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I've lived here for so long, and so they had lots of money, and me and Lady Tice, we had a thing back in the day. I'm a hot topic down in town. All the ladies in town want me. Blanche Sharma, she clearly has a thing for me. Lulu Bell wants me. Ruby Star, but I'm a taken man. I am responsible, and I am a respectable person in this community.
Meanwhile, he smells like eggs and milk.
Is he still hugging my legs?
No,
Okay, thank
because he
God.
had to take a drink, so he's not.
Oh, true.
Okay,
you're
go
right.
on.
But yeah, but she was the kindest woman while we were, that stuff.
I don't know what those fucking noises were.
But yeah, I know that her husband died a little time ago.
A long time ago?
No, not a little time ago.
Okay.
It's not like a hidden thing. It's the time that you're thinking.
Okay.
But like they used to be the wealthiest family in town. Then at one point, she started looking like a bird. Like she's I don't know if that's just the alcohol. I drink a lot, but also like at one point, like she started flying everywhere, and maybe that's no. She wasn't nice. She was actually really mean. She was a mean woman. She hated me after. Well, I had to turn her down because, like I said, I'm a respectable human being. I am faithful to my wife.
You're married?
Look at me. I'm a stand-up man. But like, so her husband had lots of money. When I say lots of money, you know how like there's a whole thing between the silver and the gold? Well, he didn't come from either of those. He didn't come from silver. He didn't come from gold. He came from oil. You know the big black tar?
Yes.
Yeah, he was some kind of big oil baron guy that just moved here. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know whether he turned her into a bird or maybe she was a bird all along, but I think she killed her husband. That's what I think. Like I said, she was mean. She was real mean. She's not respectable like me.
How long ago did you see this bird?
I didn't see it. I'll be honest. Other people have seen it in town. People don't know that I'm listening. They just think I'm a drunk. I'm not just a drunk. I'm just drunk all the time.
I'm a listening drunk.
But I listen. I hear things.
How long ago did you hear about this bird?
Young man, do you know how old I am? I can't keep I don't know what day it is today. I don't know how long ago it's been. I just know that people say she looked like a bird.
All right, you know what? I deserved that one. All right,
But I think she had a mistress.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no. Her husband had a mistress.
Do you know who?
I think it was Blanche Sharma. Actually, I take that back. I don't know who it is. It's just a rumor. There's no evidence, but I think that's what I hear. I hear little rumors. People think I'm always a drunk, but I'm not. I'm just always drunk, but I'm always listening. You know.
And I don't imagine he's gonna know the answer to this, but I'm gonna just do it anyways. You don't happen to know a salesman by the name of Barclay Ackland, do you?
So I make my living panning off gold and silver or whatever I can get out of it. I just need money. So I go panning in the river back there, and Barclay he comes into town and he trades stuff. You know, I don't know anything about, but he gives me my pans. He comes in every once in a while. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know time anything. He just kind of comes in.
He ever mention other places he visits to you?
I don't ask any questions. And if you haven't met me, people don't necessarily stick around too much. You've stuck around longer than anybody else.
Well, people look down on things they don't understand.
I understand that. Hey, you got something... He'll point at your chest. You got something on your chest here.
Got shot.
No, not your shoulder, your chest. Look, right here. You get, like, there's a little smudge right here. at like, the middle of your chest.
I know what he's trying to do.
I know exactly what you're gonna do.
And he's not gonna wait. He's just gonna go whoop, and just like put the finger up to the nose, like gotcha.
I'm gonna roll act under pressure again.
Waddling away.
Okay, good.
No, it's gonna continue that way. Like it's still holding.
And he's gonna start waddling away after that.
Cyrus just stares at him and turns and walks away. Goes back to town.
We're gonna just go back to Wyatt.
So, what do you want?
I don't like to get in others' business, and that includes being the messenger back and forth. He had some sort of need to speak to the madam of the house, but as I informed him, she is not available at the moment. She is back in Tablet Stone for the bereavement of the departed Mr. Tice.
Did he say what he wanted to talk to her about by any chance?
As I said, I don't particularly make my business outside of what I'm required to for my job here. I do not know. He kind of just sighs and he goes, I hope you can understand. He helps slap the door in place. Eduardo's carefully milked up hinges.
Thumb in the screws.
Thumb in the screws are pretty. It's settled. Like you can not touch the door, so he kind of like backs up, just like looks at it, and make sure everything looks great. And he goes, "I hope you can understand. Though the mistress is out, my duties around the house are still plentiful. I do not have time to pause to deal with a ruffian who can't take no for an answer."
And I hope you'd understand my job is to the town. So anything you could tell me and manipulate.
Okay.
Gotta get my cheat sheet. It was manipulated charm?
Yes.
10.
The man will sigh and he goes, "If it is necessary, I will come down. But please, the mistress shall be home in a day or so, and I need to prepare. She gets awfully cranky if things are not kept to her specifications."
You want to come down and make it official? That's on you. Let me know when you want to come by.
He sighs and he just like, "Lead the way." And he's gonna follow you just now.
Oh, now? Oh, okay.
Listen, you manipulate. You could have said the time of day.
We're going back.
All right, so he's gonna follow you. So Wyatt's gonna go back to the sheriff's office.
Do you pass by Jenkins on the way back?
Are you still going to the house?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm imagining. Jenkins is just like shuffling to the house, and you guys say, "Hey, wait, hold on a minute."
The guy like completely like a vein on his forehead just like kind of like pops out as soon as he sees Jenkins. He goes, "Oh Christ!"
After you, sir.
Jenkins, you gonna do anything?
Tell the missus that I'm taken. She can't have me. I know she's single now, but I'm taken.
He just kind of like stares at Jenkins. You can see like his nostrils like flare, like he's smelling what old man Jenkins is stewing in. He just goes, "I'll do such, Mr. Jenkins." And just like turns to you, Wyatt, and he's just like, "Let's fucking go." Like that look of like, just get me away. Wynifred, are you following?
Yeah.
Okay. Eduardo, will you be following them or are you gonna stick around?
Eduardo goes where Eduardo goes, which happens to be with you guys at this time.
Jenkins?
If Jenkins sees Eduardo, he's gonna say, "Hey, you! Down here, real quick."
See?
And he'll shuffle onto one or both of Eduardo's shoulders. Thanks, I appreciate it.
So above your shoulders, Eduardo, you're just getting hit with the stench of hot eggs and curdled milk.
Eduardo just kind of throws up in his mouth real quick. Just a little,
As well. So when you go on his shoulders, are you like sitting on his shoulders or you just kind of like on his back?
I don't know what, like,
You pick.
how much would Eduardo allow? Because at the least, he's gonna try and hold on. At the most, he's gonna try and, like, piggyback on his shoulders.
Eduardo is just happy to be involved and wanted, so he's not gonna say anything out of fear of being rude. This might just be a custom here.
Did Jenkins hear Eduardo's name at any point? Or does he just know that Eduardo
He's
is a
big
human
guy.
being?
It's a fucking big guy.
You know,
you know
his
he is
name.
big guy,
Yeah.
I think, at this point.
Okay. Big guy, thanks, I appreciate it. And he'll tap you on the head. We can go now.
Nope. Problem. No problemo, senor.
Alright, so go back to the station. The man, before he sits, he takes in the fucking like drawings board that is ruined. There is dried milk that's coming down. There's some like yolk that is just all over the floor, and like a handprint that like smears from when Jenkins tried to clean up, quote unquote.
As well as an extremely large handprint just smeared across several pages.
And also an empty spot where a picture used to be.
Which picture's missing?
Are you gonna take a look?
Yeah, my Pepe Sylvia's ruined.
Yeah. So the picture missing is because originally you had everybody there and then Butch.
Everybody, Butch, Dusty, Blanche.
So the drawing of Butch is gone.
Right.
Not the one you wanted.
I'm gonna shut the door so more people don't come in other than Winifred
And the guy.
and the guy.
None of us has asked his name. Not a
No,
single
yeah,
one
none
of
of you
us.
have asked his name.
Get into that.
So Eduardo and Jenkins are locked out.
Yeah.
Eduardo, you are outside.
If the door is shut in Eduardo's face, Eduardo just kind of stands there patiently, doesn't back up, doesn't move, but it's just like, oh, okay.
As I'm shutting it, I just look disappointed.
You see a twinkle in Eduardo's eye as the door shuts behind him.
Oh my god.
Just a little twinkle. Not quite a tear, just a twinkle.
Oh my god.
It's okay, buddy. Let's go over to the saloon.
Which is closed today.
But you could still try.
And that twinkle does become a tear because the smell returns to Eduardo's nose.
Before we get to plot, let's go on this little excursion with Eduardo and Jenkins. I feel like they need some time to shine.
Eduardo side quest.
So you're gonna try to go to the saloon. Remember, there's more buildings out there.
Jenkins doesn't care about anything else.
Jenkins, do you care about bitches?
No, but they care about him.
Yeah, he's taken.
He's taken. Jenkins has a wife.
Cyrus would never ask about his wife, but I am desperately curious about this man's fucking wife.
Is there a place, whether it's to Jenkins' wife or elsewhere, that Eduardo could force Jenkins to get a bath?
There is a boarding house.
Is there a horse trough?
Will the boarding house wash him for me?
It's on the map, but I'll give you some options. There is a barber shop. There's the boarding house, so like lodging. There is a supply shop, a general store, and like a livery, so like a stable. Any of those will have some way of bathing, whether it's good or bad. You messaged me a lot. Yep.
Yes, I did.
Yep.
Is there another option?
There is an option.
Oh,
There is, nearby, there's a nice little pink painted building where, people with some lady and lad friends can spend a wonderful night together. It do be the brothel.
oh, we're going to the fucking brothel.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking Eduardo and Jenkins side quest to the brothel. My goddamn favorite thing. I'm so pleased.
Oh, I've had something stewing just based on a conversation that me and Travis had. You're gonna be so fucking happy for this, Trav.
I love this. So Eduardo just kind of like takes his like shirt and pulls it up over his face as kind of like a mask, just because he cannot deal with Jenkins.
Yeah. So the brothel is nearby. It's one of the bigger buildings on Main Street. Like I said, it's of course wooden, but it's painted like a nice like salmon color. It has like nice like white trim. It almost looks a bit more taken care of than other buildings. The only thing that seems to be a bit more disarray, we'll say, is the sign that would have been hanging below, like above like the double door in, is removed, and you see a few women and a few men kind of like painting on it, and then like one is wiping off the paint, and then like they try to write something else on it. You can hear like a bits of grumbling, yelling at them from, it'd be like a little step up to get in, a little raised area, sitting in a wheelchair, smoking a cigarette, is an older woman, like bright orange hair, like unnaturally orange hair, big like glasses. She has on like a nice dress, a blanket, like across her lap, and she's just barking at them, and she's like, "You idiots, pick a goddamn name." So there's a little scene out front.
So Eduardo looks out to this one could call it a menage of people, and just kind of pulls his shirt up over his nose and mouth so he can attempt to breathe without dying from Jenkins stank, and just looks up and is just like,
Senor Jenkins, you say the ladies, they love you, no?
Oh, yeah, they all love me. That's why I have to stay away from here, you know? Hey, Lulu, over here.
One of the women that's there turns around. The smell hits her before her vision locks on to Jenkins, so she knows immediately who it is. And she's like, "Oh my God. Were you in the drunk pit again, Jenkins?"
Nah, I'm always drinking. Can't be drunk if you're already drinking.
The girl just kind of like beautiful girl, she's like fanning away from her face, and she's just like, "Oh my God." And like the other women, and like there's other men too, like all the like beautiful like look up, and just like their faces just crunch over. The girl Lulu in question actually stands up, and she just runs back inside.
No. We're not here for me. I think we're here for my friend here. Big guy.
The woman in the wheelchair at the top, like, she doesn't even look, she's still looking at them, but like as she like takes the cigarette out of her mouth and just like, "Jenkins." And you know this woman that sits there.
Oh, be careful. She's got a nasty temper. She's like one of those Broncos you just can't tame.
Senor Jenkins, what is her name?
You know, sometimes you see the weird like facial structure. I like to call her Harry. Her name's Henrietta. She's the madam of this here brothel.
You're whispering, but she like taking a drag of the cigarette, and she goes, "I'm his worst fucking nightmare."
If Jenkins attempts to speak, Eduardo just kind of takes one of his big hands and attempts to cover his mouth, but ends up just kind of palming his face like a basketball. Like, still on his shoulder. He just kind of like reaches up and like face masks him, and like with just kind of a frog in his throat, still trying not to vomit from the smell that's been attached to his shoulder. It's just like, Senora Henrietta, perhaps you could help me. I have a bit of a, and then while still palming his face, reaches up his other hand to try to plug his ears. A bit of a problem.
She goes, "I've known Jenkins for years. He's the majority of a problem. She like keeps like she like takes a drag of the cigarette, like her nostrils flare, and she takes the cigarette and just starts like wafting it near Jenkins to like cover the scent with the scent of a cigarette.
Eduardo just kind of takes a step forward and like now is just coughing ever so slightly, just like
Senora Henrietta, your familia, they look clean, they smell very nice. Perhaps you could assist making Jenkins like so.
You're gonna have to use manipulate.
all right. Manipulate is plus charm.
Yes.
All right.
No one's got a nat 12 yet.
That would be a 10.
I understand this is no easy task.
She just kind of like stares at Jenkins and she's like, fine, but I ain't doing this for him. I'm doing this for the safety of everybody within this vicinity. That man smells rank. That man smells as though he has been bathing in piss.
I believe it has been eggs and lard and, como se dice, cocktail.
Cocktail.
He's bathing in a cocktail?
I believe so, yes.
I've known James a long time. The fanciest he ever gets is the one time he washed a bottle that he drank out of after 2 weeks. He ain't making a cocktail. That is a germ soup.
Germ soup.
Eduardo just kind of like drops Jenkins off of his shoulder
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah, just poof.
on accident, reaching for his notebook. Just completely lets go of him and just writes down germ soup.
As you write, she stubs out like her cigarette, like on the fucking arm of her wheelchair. You can see multiple more burns in there. She goes, carry him in. There's some that will wash him off quick. She moves her wheelchair to go inside the building and like gestures for you to follow with them.
Jenkins, are you going in willingly? Or is Eduardo dragging you?
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
I can bring you in clean, or I can bring you in stinky.
Jenkins will fight to go into a brothel.
No, I'm a taken man. Don't bring me in there.
This requires a prop.
Okay.
So Eduardo takes the paddle off of his back,
I forgot you have that nearby.
the long wooden paddle, and just kind of like spatulas underneath, but like holding him as far out as he can.
Wait.
Like he's disposing of hazardous materials. He's just kind of holding him at the edge of this paddle.
Wait. Okay, fine. I'll go in. Give me a blindfold.
Blindfold, senor?
Yeah, for my eyes.
Because he's a taken man.
Yeah.
I do not understand. It is a bath time.
Yes, this is a brothel with lots of. There's lots of lewd women in there, and I'm a taken man. I don't want my wife to know about this. What if she sees?
What does this mean, lewd?
They're nude, boy.
This is my favorite chapter of this so far.
Yeah, it is a bath time. You do not bring your clothes. Although you may want to consider bringing your clothes.
Yes, I understand. I do not want to see them.
Why would they be naked? It is your bath time.
Just give me a blindfold and I'll go in. I promise.
Fearful of upsetting Jenkins further, he turns to
Senora Henrietta, do you have a as they say, blindfold?
Does the owner of a brothel have a blindfold?
That's exactly where I'm going with this.
Henrietta just kind of like sighs and she goes, how many times I gotta tell you, Jenkins, they're not getting naked in the goddamn lobby. All right? We are goddamn professionals in this establishment.
I can handcuff him if you want.
She takes the blanket that was across her lap and just like throws it over. And she goes, burn that when you're done.
Okay, can I just keep it?
So the motherfucker's just walking in like a ghost.
She like wheels like in front of you and like turns. The interior, it's a very nice looking building. It is like very much upkept, like painted like a rich like red color, and like there's like a little bar that's there, some like tables, stuff like that, and like a front desk that is like perfect height for someone in a wheelchair to like go around. So it's her desk. There's a little bell at the top. She rings it. And she goes, "Bring it up to Ruby's invention." There is like 2 staircases that go up into like a second floor on either side by the door. And from there, one of the women that was outside, she is a muscle mommy. Like, big woman comes down.
Mother.
And from the other side is like one of the guys outside, also like a muscle mommy, like a big guy, comes down. They both wrap their arms, the woman like at the top of Jenkins and the other guy from like Jenkins' ankles, pick him up and like run him upstairs.
Whoa, who is this?
Are we not gonna have a fucking Sig and Armstrong from Fullmetal Alchemist, Eduardo and this other big guy fucking moment? Like, I want the big guy moment.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So they like pick him up and just like run him upstairs. Jenkins, you cannot get out even if you wanted to, and you're like wrapped up in this fucking blanket.
Whoa, who is that? I can't see.
Eduardo like sees him being carried away and gets a little bit concerned and just turns to Madame Henriette. It's just like, will he be all right?
She goes behind her desk and like gets out another fucking cigarette, and as she's like looking for a light, she goes, "Oh, he's fine. We've done this at least 4 other times." She lights and she goes, "One of my gals, Ruby. She's a little bit of an inventor, all right? She's an intellectual. She invented, it's like rain that you can wash yourself in." She starts describing it. It's a fucking shower. Like, she just invented a shower. She was like, "She is all kinds of smart. I mean, you just saw her." She like points like as they're running up the muscle mommy. "Perfect. We lock him in there. He's forced to get clean because God forbid, I don't even want to know what bath water looks like after he uses it."
Can I roll a new character that will seduce Ruby? Because I mean, I'm in love with her, and like I,
Yes.
you know, like can I just
Cyrus
make an
can
NPC
try.
who's just
Cyrus
gonna,
can
like,
try. Maybe Cyrus has, you know.
I don't know if Cyrus would, but I would.
Listen, if anybody's gonna take Ruby, it's gonna be Wyatt
Oh, that's true.
Why it's taken.
Or
God, what-
Dusty.
Poor Dusty.
or Dusty.
Dusty.
True.
So yeah, Henrietta just kind of, she finds a like a match and she like lights it to light her cigarette. While she like takes a drag, she like stares at it and she goes, "Have I met you before, boy?"
No, senora.
She goes, "No, I mean, you look awfully familiar."
My name is Eduardo Oscuro de Mencia del Cuervo.
At the name, her eyes like kind of light up. She goes, "You Diane's boy?"
Yes, you know my mother.
She like grins ear to ear. Her cheeks almost turn like red as like her fucking like orange hair. She goes, "I met your mother back during the war. All right. She was a missionary that started coming up talking about Jesus. And I mean,
You mean signing?
yes, she was signing all of that. I mean, I guess whatever congregation she was a part of, they had somebody who was translating for us. But you know, she was talking all about that. I mean, I was a young woman. All I was trying to do was get through the day, not getting shot at, you know. I'm part of the cannon fodder." While she says this, she like lifts off, like, she's wearing like a long dress. She like lifts off the hem of it so you can see that like she doesn't have like her left leg. So she is just like, you know, but she was all kinds of nice. I mean, I was healing from all this. Like points to her leg. She puts down the dress and she was just like, yeah, she was all kinds of sweet, always trying to dote on me. Kept signing that, you know, everything has a purpose, all that, which I kept looking at her. She couldn't hear. I kept screaming at her, just like, what the purpose is on my left fucking leg.
Eduardo lets out just a hearty laugh at the idea of you screaming at his mother.
Yeah.
Just a
mi madre. She was a wonderful woman. What she could not hear, she could see in the goodness of others.
I know. She met your daddy. Your daddy isn't like snaps her fingers, like saying like
Jacques.
Jack, that was his name. She like takes another hit, like grinning, and she was like, I remember him. He was also deaf.
Correct.
They met like tail end of the war, right?
Yes, different sides of Germany at the time, but
Yeah, he goes, nice fella. I think you met the father yet?
the father?
Father Milton in town. You meet him yet? Kind of aloof. He don't visit all that much.
I'm sorry. I just watched the fucking Game Grumps like animated,
Milton?
the old ones, just like the Miltons. We have many Miltons.
A lot of these names could definitely be from bits that I remember. I just had certain
Could
names
be,
like
probably.
Milton. I was like, I don't know where the fuck that came from. Yeah, she was like, you met Father Milton yet?
Father Milton, a man of the cloth, no?
Yeah, he run the church house. It's out back. Nice fella, pretty standoffish, you know, obviously. Not the biggest fan of our line of work. But again, I don't give a shit.
Eduardo just continues to look confused. He has never stepped foot in a brothel in his life, so he just thinks that this is a really nice bathhouse.
It's just like the church you said is out back through the back room here. Yes.
Oh no, back there, that's where, you know, they clean themselves in a way that's outside that contraption.
It's a bathhouse of many features.
Yes.
I see. You run a great business.
This is an establishment. We can't hold ourselves to the highest standard. She kind of like puffs out her chest a lot. She goes, in the war, I mean, even with one leg down, I still made it up where I was in charge of an entire troop. And I make sure I keep these people to the same standards. These are the only motherfuckers in town who can read.
You were a soldier.
Well, yeah, I just told you how I met your mother. Which is also the name of a show that will become popular later on. I had to.
I put together that you met like when the war was happening.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you fought in it.
She lost her leg.
Thought the leg was just like a stray bullet or a stray cannon.
She goes, yeah, I was a soldier. Made my way all the way up where I was a sergeant. Also, for anybody who's listening who's been in the military, I know fucking nothing. So I'm just throwing out names that I know from like, I think a sergeant is higher up than a regular soldier. I know that.
I like how they made it all the way up, but just a sergeant.
Shut up. Think about harm.
6 points of harm. Plague be upon thee.
I don't know. But regardless.
Sergeant's like the first rank.
Don't worry about it.
They weren't a private.
Isn't it corporal below sergeant?
I don't know.
Colonel.
I don't think a colonel all the way up. She was in charge of people.
It's spelt colonel.
Yeah, colonial.
Anywho, she goes, I'll make sure that I run this establishment to the same degree where I made sure that me and my fellow soldiers, boy, we won that war. I don't care that there was a quote-unquote truce, all right? We were winners, baby. She like gestures around the town. She goes, you see that bell? Gold. You see that picture frame? Gold. You see my tooth? Gold. She like points at like a gold tooth she's got in.
It is a very fine tooth, senora.
Damn right. And she like, but you can see like her eyes open again, and she was just like, oh, Father Milton. I think he knew your daddy. It was, I think when he came for like all that, because Milton used to do the same, you know, rounds during the war to, you know, see soldiers, give last rites, raise some spirits, blah, 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 blah. So he might actually know him.
Thank you, senora. You have been very kind, very helpful to me.
Anytime, sweetheart. Anytime. She like takes another hit. From upstairs, you can hear like a little bit of Jenkins like yelling. It's all muffled through it.
This is clean.
I thought you were like gonna try to make other noises for a second.
No, Jenkins is getting clean for the first time in. I can't finish that because it's Disney.
For the first.
Done.
That's as much as we can use.
In a long time.
For the first time in like a year.
Yeah. I don't think we want to know how long it's been.
He still has dust on him from the war.
Yeah. Yeah, so Henrietta just kind of like looks up, like, just, he's almost done.
Eduardo kind of like pats around and says,
Please, let me repay your kindness.
Oh no, sweetie, you're totally fine. I mean, trust me, we don't need money. We're pretty good out here.
Eduardo just kind of looks confused. He's like,
Bonnie, no.
and pulls a like very pristine, like there was pressed like a form of like flowers and very floral kind of design into the glass bottle just pulls out a glass bottle filled with milk with a nice gold lid and scratches just a little thing onto the top. Jen, do I have to roll for what milk I want to give to this woman?
No, it's an NPC. You don't need to.
All right. But just scratches really quickly a rune with his big thumbnail and hands it to her and says, for anything you may need, just drink.
She like takes the bottle. Visually she sees that it's milk, so she's like, okay. She's like,
the bottle is cold.
Okay, so at that, like when she holds it, she's like, how the hell you do that? It's like touching an ice cube.
I am el lechero.
Oh my god.
I love the little pacing that it takes for me to be able to grab my guitar to do
It
that.
actually works out well.
Eduardo just kind of like bows as he says it, like very regally for his size, very daintily for his size, and just slowly kind of like makes his way out, like trying to like scoot past people out to the front door.
As you leave, we'll have Ruby kind of like comes down the muscle moppy, and she's just like, he'll be out in a minute. She's wearing a dress, but she has ripped off the sleeves of said dress, so she's just got the guns out.
Fucking hot as shit. Eduardo doesn't know what to do with all that woman, but like, goddamn.
To even put it more, this woman would be taller than Eduardo.
I'm bricked up just thinking about it.
This woman is probably like 6'6".
Damn. Sorry, I blacked out for a second. What were we talking about?
All the blood went somewhere else.
Eduardo just kind of like nods to her and says, your inventions are that of great magnificence, and they are appreciated. Thank you.
Ruby turns like her name, like turns bright fucking ruby, and just like kind of like leans on like the banister. She's just like, oh well, thank you. Like she kind of like leans a little forward. She's hitting on Eduardo. She was just like, are you, maybe you want a teaser of my services?
I would greatly appreciate seeing your inventions.
She goes, mechanical or biological inventions?
Eduardo just kind of like stops to think for a moment, whips out his notebook again, and just writes down, biological ?
What's he whipping out?
His notebook. That's his nickname for his pains. Yeah, just whips out my cock in the middle of the brothel.
Not the churner?
He tries to recall what Madame Henrietta said. It's just like the rain.
Oh, she like kind of like she looks a little disappointed, and she just kind of like stands back up. But then she's like, he's interested in what I made. Like it like in the span of a second, it goes from disappointment to acceptance to just very amicable. And she was like, "Because we were having a lot of trouble after some services. We got to get clean, and getting bath water is a nightmare. So I just took I talked to the blacksmith, made some pipes, put it in the well, and it's like a little rain shower. They could actually call it a shower. Or just rain."
Eduardo takes out the notebook again and just flips to a new page and writes down rain, comma, shower, comma, pipes? ?
All the words. He just doesn't get it.
Yeah. Just words that he doesn't understand how they all work together. For a brief moment, Eduardo is like scared that he offended her because he noticed how like her demeanor completely changes. And he's like, if that is what you call it, I think it is correct. It is yours.
Jenkins should be finishing it up. Would you like to see?
May I?
She guides you up. Switch that. Then we're gonna flip back to the others while you're going up there.
And the two went upstairs in the brothel behind a closed door.
I had a prostitute hit on Eduardo, and Eduardo's like, I want to see the shower.
Listen, this is not the usual horny characters that I write.
I know, that's why it's even
This
more
is so
fun.
hard for me.
More ways than one.
This is so hard for me to be like, you know what? Eduardo isn't as innocent as we all think. He's actually just kinky as hell, and he's gonna go for it. Yeah, fuck the church mission. We don't need to know about my parents' backstory. That's not important. I want to see ruby titties.
There's fucking mommy milkers in the fucking vicinity.
Oh my god.
Come on, let's get a good cliffhanger with some tits.
I need art of Ruby ASAP. I don't know how often she's going to come back, but I just want Ruby and nobody else.
I don't know if anybody is complete side note. There's a particular manga that I know of that I am basing Ruby on. Hold on. There it is. This is the influence. It's a manga that I know of. This is how I envision Ruby.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Mommy? Sorry.
It's literally called the Muscle Girl Next Door.
Oh,
She
you're
is
fucking
canonically
right.
6'6". What was her name? I think it actually might be Ruby. Yeah, her name is Ruby.
Obsessed.
I knew that I had that reference, but I couldn't remember the character's name. Anywho.
I'm trying to find the character that I was thinking of. Have any of you been watching Delicious in Dungeon?
No.
No.
I watched 2 episodes.
It's not a spoiler, but it's a later character. They're inside the opening credits. But I was picturing this woman.
Oh, I like her. I've not met her, but I like her.
Yeah.
Dummy thick. But she's a dwarf in the show, so it doesn't work for your 6'6" muscle mommy quite yet.
No, she is a muscle mommy.
Oh yeah, I forgot we never picked a name for the brothel.
I was gonna
Sounds like a
make
whole
it so that
thing.
way you got to
Ruby
decide.
Tuesdays.
Ruby Tuesdays?
I don't know if we're allowed
Ruby
to.
Wednesdays.
TGI Fridays.
Ruby Wednesdays.
Tuesday rubies.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Complete side note, Jen, are there cows in this town? I will need to reload. I just realized that I gave away 4 bottles over the course
I
of
will
2
need
episodes.
to jack a cow.
It was the word reload. Keep it in. Keep it in. Lock and load.
Cover me, I'm reloading.
Just with the udders.
How do you describing milking as reloading?
Hey, you guys don't reload your cows?
Oh my god, I
Dude,
hate
if
and
you
love
can
that.
if you could find it, I need some sort of mix between the shotgun and just the sound of milk hitting an empty bucket.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I don't know how possible that is or how cursed that is going to be.
Extremely.
I need to cock a cow.
Anyway.
I'm glad we all paused for that.
Oh,
I'm really glad
God.
about that.
Brutal. All right.
Therapy-inducing topics aside. Unholy topics aside. All right, we all good? Ready to jump back in?
After that, yeah.
Let's milk this cow.
Let's
That's
milk
the new
this
kick.
cow.
That's
Sorry,
that's
let's
our-
reload
that's
this
our
cow.
kick some ass.
Let's reload this
Cock
cow.
this cow.
Let's fucking cock this cow.
Yeah, let's not
Oh,
cock this
God.
cow.
That's our
Oh
new
my
kick some
God.
ass. It's not shake a planet. It's let's milk this cow.
Let's milk this cow.
Maybe I should just leave now.
You're in
Are
this.
you gonna go cock the cow?
That's none of your business.
What happens in the brothel stays in the
Unless you
brothel.
wanted it to be your
Big
business.
spoon.
I'm waiting for Jenkins to try to aggressively hit on Wyatt.
Jenkins is a taken man.
No, but you stick.
For the audio listeners, he just winked.
Yeah, I winked just like this. Just like,
Leave. So we're gonna go back to the sheriff's office. So in there is you, Wyatt, Winifred, and the man that you still have not asked the name of.
Get into that. And just food everywhere.
His eyebrows raised behind his glasses.
Jenkins.
The man just goes, "I'm familiar with his," and he gestures a hand over his work.
Yeah, I'm becoming familiar. Why don't you have a seat, Mr.
Elias.
Elias?
My friend's gonna lean over to the sheriff and be like, "So what am I supposed to, should I take notes?" What do you want me to do?
You can take notes.
Okay, I'll take notes. And she takes out her notebook.
Have a seat, Mr. Elias.
He goes to like where you've gestured a chair, I assume, like in front of the desk.
Yeah.
Elias, very prim and properly, like sits down, folds his hands in his lap.
Wyatt will sit on the other side.
He goes, I haven't been in this office in quite a long time. Looks exactly the same based on what I can remember.
Well, haven't had much time to decorate. It's only been 26 hours.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more outside, like through the window. It's about like midday, we'll say now, like probably like a 2 or 3 o'clock.
There was some art, but now there's food.
I can see that, Sheriff.
So, we'll get there.
He just kind of like nods. He's still like turning his nose up a little bit at the mess.
Oh, why don't we start with what happened?
There ain't really that much to tell. That gentleman, I believe, the Cyrus.
Don't think all I showed was the Marshal badge. I didn't say my name at all.
I'm just gonna, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, does he know things?
It's a small town. People talk back and forth.
I don't know if I've said my name to anyone.
I know.
At all.
I know. Cyrus, I believe his name is. Surname escapes me. Came to the estate and demanded to speak to Madame Tice. Like I have said, she is away at the moment. I'm sure you have heard Mr. Tice has passed of recently.
My sympathies.
You shouldn't. He was a rat bastard.
My unsympathies?
You hear Winifred mumbling, Mr. Tice was a rat bastard, but like really quietly.
Like really seriously as she writes it. That's really funny.
Like concentrating.
Like the tongue sticking out and everything.
I was about to say, that's how I picture her right now.
Yeah.
He was like, yes, Madame Tice is in Tablet Stone. That is where I believe Mr. Tice's relatives do station. They are there for the bereavement.
Now, was this... Did you want to speak to her before or after he kicked the door down?
Before. I informed him that she was not home. He got lippy. I closed the door. I acted as is protocol. He hit down the door and I hit him back.
Gotta refer to my notes real quick.
I like that this random like man has now become like toe to toe with Cyrus, just like go fuck yourself. I love it.
Well, you got the right to defend the house, but he say why he wanted to talk to the mistress? I know I asked that back at the house, but now we're making it official.
I do not know. I do not care to know. Madame Tice, she's a woman of many knowledge. Perhaps he was asking her about something. He kind of like shifts in his seat, crosses his leg. I've been employed by Madame Tice for about 16 years now. To this day, I can't tell you what that woman does. That'd be her business.
Hey, maybe her and I'll have a chat when she's back.
He kind of like chuckles bitterly and he goes, I sympathize with you for trying to talk to that woman. She is let's just say the children refer to the house on there as a castle with a dragon in it.
I mean, she is a bird, so.
Do you ask about the bird analogy? Oh, wait, you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And just for my notes, there were no cryptids involved, right? No monsters or anything. It was just Cyrus.
I'm obsessed with you.
He just looks at you and goes, Crip, what?
You know, like monsters, like vampires, werewolves, sea serpents. There are a lot of different kinds of sea serpents. You know, those kind of things.
We live in a fucking desert.
I'm not saying sea serpents are here, obviously. I'm just saying like those as examples of what kind of monsters and cryptids there are.
He just kind of like stares at you and goes, where are you from again? I've seen you when running errands. Where the hell are you from?
That's a good question. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to keep doing my job and continue writing notes. She looks down and starts scribbling.
He looks at you, his eyes kind of scan up and down before locking on your eyes.
Winifred is gonna adjust her silver glasses.
Sheriff, I thought you would keep vetted company.
I'll need someone to take the notes.
I didn't realize, though, that people from the East can write without lying through their silver tongues. And he pushes his glasses up. Through the sunlight, you could see they're made of gold. He looks very pointedly at her as he does that.
Oh no, what's wrong with the East?
Elias stands up and he goes, I think you should be aware of how we feel about those from the East here. The same way I know what you and your fellow man up there in the silver mines talk about us here in the West. Up there in the silver mines talk about us here in the West. What are you gonna do? Remember, you have moves.
I know. So he stood up, right?
Yeah. He hasn't moved to walk away, but he has stood up.
I'm gonna stay sitting, but I'm gonna kick my feet up on the desk. And Wyatt is. We need a table of contents.
I gave you some manual.
I'm looking through it.
They are on page 20.
I was on 2. Just for a move, can I read a bad situation to see what, if I say certain things would set him off? Okay, my sharp's really good. That's an 8.
Okay. So you've traversed bringing up, the metal divide. I'm not going to say anything specific, but you're going to have to be careful when discussing it. You're going to have to navigate around it.
If you'd feel more comfortable, I could send her outside while we keep chatting, because we ain't done.
Elias kind of stares at you and he goes, I've answered all the questions you need to know, sir.
But not enough.
Oh?
I'll send her out. Why don't you sit down and really tell me what happened up there, and I'll manipulate.
Okay.
There's something satisfying to know that this fucking, butler didn't just fuck with me, is also fucking with Wyatt. I'm like, hell yeah, it ain't just me.
What manipulates charm, right?
Manipulate, yeah.
That's 11.
Nice. He his eyes glance over to Winifred.
Oh, yeah, I'll leave.
He sits back down in the chair.
Wayne, why don't you wait outside? I'll fill you in.
Yeah. And she picks up her camera. She puts her notebook away, picks back up her camera, and then kind of shifts it to one arm while she's trying to get the doorknob and unlock the door. Just trying to be smooth about it. Obviously not. Kind of awkwardly opens the door and kind of does that little shuffle out as through the opening as much as she can, and then she closes it behind her.
That's adorable. Elias his shoulders relax a bit when she leaves. He goes, Sheriff, a word to the wise. You are in Bittermesa. We don't take kindly to silver out here. I'm sure you know we were war-torn during the Boolean Schism. The entire valley was flattened when that happens.
Understand your apprehensions.
Listen, I know you come from the East. And as you can see, we've been mighty kind, but do not bring silver into these parts. I recommend going to the blacksmith and getting yourself some gold pieces.
I'll look at myself.
He kind of sighs. He goes, I'm talking in the group version of you and your employee.
I'm not too big on telling people how they should dress.
I'm not saying this for any other reason. She seems like a nice girl. I've noticed it's silver. You bet other people in the town have noticed that she's wearing silver.
I'll mention it, but just going forward, just remember she's in my employ, so just watch how you talk about her.
He doesn't look phased. He just kind of like, his hands are folded back in his lap, so he's like, his hands go like this, being like, "What? Listen, it's your fucking thing."
So now back to what happened.
I told you all that happened. He burst down the door. I shot his shoulder.
Shot his shoulder, but there seemed to be a lack of blood. Usually when people get shot, there's blood. I mean, I could be wrong, but in my experience of all the people that I shot, there's blood.
You have more experience than I do. I just know exactly what happened. You can go back, check the gun. There's a round missing.
I mean, we all heard it.
I shot him. He fell. He got back up. That's something you must take up with that Cyrus fellow. I don't know too much about him, but who knows?
What did he say to you specifically?
Kind of like sighs and goes, "Man was talking. I wanted to see the madam. I told him no. Kept coming out here with some threats. Made him seem like he was the Reaper incarnate. And not a lot of Reapers I know go down with a bullet. So."
Well, he got back up, so.
They got back up, I'll give him that. That's your business, Sheriff. I just can't have anybody coming into the home. I'm sure you understand. My employment is upkeeping the home.
I'm trying to work with you.
As am I. I truly wish there was something more I can tell you, but there truly isn't.
Do you?
I'm telling you all I know, sir.
Well, Elias, why don't you come back again tomorrow?
He kind of like squints his brows. He goes, "Tomorrow?"
Yeah, the day that's after today.
Yeah, but you do know what tonight brings, right?
I just heard don't go out tonight. But nothing about tomorrow.
Tomorrow's usually when we have to take inventory of everybody who's still here.
Oh, so you'll be out then?
Time will be out.
Yeah, so just swing on by.
Kind of like squints his eyes and goes, "They really didn't tell you."
I tend to not ask a lot of questions about why I'm here, about what brought me here.
Elias stands up, just kind of like brushes his pants, and he's like, "You will be quite busy tomorrow, I imagine." He like looks out the window. The sun is beginning to set. The glow of like sunset is like beginning to bleed into the blue sky. He goes, "I very much expect you will be as busy as the old sheriff once was, but this is a whole different thing that will happen tomorrow."
Well, make some time.
Elias fixes his glasses once more and goes, "May I leave now? It's getting awfully late and I do not want to be on this street when it does."
Good walk for you to get out there, huh? Should probably leave now, so have at it. See you tomorrow.
Dips his head a little bit and goes, "Evening, Sheriff. Hope to see you tomorrow." And he walks right out, but while he doesn't walk out like as calmly as he did walking towards. He's like speed walking out.
Starting to get dark.
The sun
It's
is
getting real low.
getting real low.
It's sundown.
Winifred, as the sun begins to set more and the sky begins to turn this like fiery orange, you can hear from the other buildings nearby the sound of not stomping, but obviously people walking faster, the sound of shutters closing, and just overall like people bringing things in and stuff like that. Right across the street is the general store, and you can see a middle-aged man, like deep tan skin, salt and pepper hair, wearing like, it's very much like the stereotypical like general store like outfit from like the movies, like white shirt, like the thing on the arms to keep the sleeves up, apron, and he see him like quickly come out and like pick up like signs, stuff like that that's been like there. And while you see them, I need you to roll read a bad situation.
Bad situation. That is an 11.
You see him like picking up things. From there is like another person, like this like gangly, like pale looking like guy, like full of freckles, wild, like, blonde hair. Probably looks to be like an employee there, picking stuff up, and you see the man just like yell. He's like, faster, faster. They're picking stuff up. The way that they're picking it up isn't just like end of shift stuff. It almost looks like they're taking everything that makes it seem like there's people in the store back inside. The man like picks everything up and like runs back in. The younger guy is like shuffling through. There's like little like displays and shit that were outside, like things where you could like hitch up the horse, so there's like the actual like leather, whatever, to like keep everything clipped. The boy's like, I say boy, he's probably like it is like 19 and or 20. He like looks up at the sky. While he does, he like looks over to you and he goes, you better get inside.
Inside from what?
He's like shaking, stuff like that. You hear the more of the sounds of shutters closing, and you can hear the sound of a woman call, Marcus, get inside! Marcus, get inside! The sound there, you can hear the sound of the blacksmith, where there's this large chimney coming up from the fires inside. You see it begin to sputter as they frantically try to turn off the fire, stop the smoke from coming out. The boy's like shaking. Everything, he's staring at the sky, is turning more orange. The sun is almost casting this harsh angle of shadows through, and he goes, get. He keeps like panicking, like his chest is heaving in and out. From the inside, you can hear the sound of that his boss from before, just like, get in, you idiot, get in. He's just so petrified. He's like looking back, looking at you, looking up.
Yeah, Wynifred will just kind of stand in the door, because the sheriff's door, I'm assuming, is open, like wide open from Elias.
Yeah, it'd be like the doorway, it's open.
Yeah, so she's just gonna stand in the doorway watching him. The boy.
The boy's just like, almost like he's so out of his mind. He actually steps forward to you a bit. He's like, I don't want you, get her, get in. And while he says it, he stops. His face, he's a pale guy, but he almost turns like a ghost, because you hear the sound of a whinny from a horse. He just stops. Inside where his boss was, you can kind of see like through the door. He like hears it too. He must have like come out like a little bit just to like bring him physically in, but the sound of the horse, the crunch of a hoof hitting against the dirt ground. He just kind of looks at the kid. He mumbles something to him, and the boy doesn't respond. And the man just kind of does the sign of the cross and goes back inside, closing the door fully.